Yo, it's good YouTube. So today we're gonna be doing the pages. So as you can see on the top left over here, we have the home, the shop, and courses. We are gonna be starting by the shop. We already did the home. Here is the home. Right now we're gonna do the shop. Okay. So we can just go into our home page, not our home file, and let's start by the iPhone 14 mockup. I'm just gonna get that iPhone 14 mockup. Here we can just start designing that. Okay, I'm just gonna remove that background. Okay, so let me just zoom out a little bit. Right, I just want to check out which layer is causing this. I think it's this one. So we can just change the fill, or we can just make it transparent. Okay, so we're just gonna change this layer into mobile or iPhone mockup, for example. And let's go right now inside the screen itself. Okay, and let's just change that fill to white. Okay, so let's zoom in right now and just scroll horizontally a little bit. And that's pretty much it. Okay, so right now I'm just gonna get that navigation bar we already used in the home page. So we can just get that from the home page if you'd like. Okay, so right now in terms of the shop, we also want a carousel at the top of the page. So we're just gonna get that from over here from the assets. And let's just search carousel. Okay, but when you're searching the assets, just make sure you are in the Bootstrap 5 community kit file. So I'm just going to give it a moment or two to load. And as you can see right now, if I just press right click and then go to main component, and I'm just going to select this one and go to file. And we want that carousel that dark is equal to true. So we're just going to copy this one and go into over here and paste over here. Okay, let's resize this one a little bit. Okay, so let's check out which one is this one. Okay, so as you can see, this one is the slide that's on the left. So if we want to check out the slide that's in the middle, we can just hover over these. So it's this one. Yeah, as you can see, even the caption and the slide number. You can change the text as well, the size and everything. I'm just going to add in Arial. And let's change this, for example, to 32. So yeah, as you can see right now, it's a little bit smaller. And you can change the content that is inside. So we're just in the correct one, but let me just resize the carousel caption, the slide text. I'm just gonna add in Arial as well. And let's make that into 12. The second slide label. So slide label, just make sure you're highlighting the text that's inside it, as well to Arial. And then let's make it to 10, for example, or no, actually 15. And also we want that to be bold. Maybe 17. We want it to be a little bit bigger than that. And yeah, that looks fine. All right, we just want to change the image basically to just an image that I have over here for a Lean Lee case. And so we're just gonna select fill, and then we're gonna select it on the image over here, the third one on the right, and then swap image and then capture.png. But just make sure to have the components / carousel item selected for it to work. Try something else. So WordPress Pixabay. Yeah, we would just want something that's open source and we can use it for just this Figma design, right? And just make sure when you're getting like an image like this to put your assets like in a note file like this or something similar. Okay, so yeah, like this image for example, I can just download it, and then as you can see, you can just read that content license. Just make sure you have the correct selection of that carousel item. Swap that image, and we're just gonna get that WordPress. Yep, that looks fine. And we can just change that text in the middle. Right, so it's not the label, it's the carousel caption, or is it the slide text? I'm not really sure which one is it. So we can just try and select it, but it's not actually allowing me to. So let's try that again. I think it's the slide number. And this one we can just change it into white. Okay, we're already going to be using these. We're not going to be actually using the one in the middle. But yeah, I think that looks a lot better than the simpler one we made in the homepage. Afterwards, I think we can add in two things. It's either we can add in like directly the products themselves, or we can just add in basically just some cards for the products. All right, so I'm just gonna add in like a card. So let me search over here again. As you can see, if I go into assets and uh, I search something, it's just gonna show me all of these other libraries, so it's just gonna be a little bit harder to find. So that's why I keep myself inside that Bootstrap design system, that file. And let's right now not get actually a carousel. We're gonna be getting something else. We're gonna be getting a card. All right, let's just right click on the card and go to main component, and let's check out all the cards that we have in the UI library kit. So yeah, as you can see, you have like a horizontal card, and which is like a row card, and this is like more related to the columns. So you got two variants of them. And if you also check out the code of them, you can just scroll to the side over here. As you can see over here, it's saying card body, and everything. It's just in the basically the I'm just making sure I don't want to say something that I'm not sure of. So I think it's just in the layout that they have the different, because they have a footer and a header. While this one, I'm not really sure if it does have a footer or a header. So let's just check this one out, and let me Control Z out of it. Okay. Yeah, so this one has a card header and a card footer as well, and this is the one that we're actually going to be using. So let's just copy this one for now. And again, if you want to make sure you're copying the correct one, just make sure you have selected the file over here on the left. And as you can see, you have one that's vertical and one that is horizontal. That's just the only difference. Okay, so let's copy this one. And I'm just going to close these notes. And I'm just going to go back into this page over here. Right, let me paste that over here, and let's check out our file. Also, we want to make sure everything is a little bit organized. Do not want to mess it up. So it's just pasting, give it a little while. Okay. So let's just zoom out a little bit, and let's resize this card. Okay, but the one itself that it's fixed, alright, we do not want it to be fixed. Like, that is what I don't like about it. We can just move it by the X and Y like I just did, but I don't want it to be fixed, because we're not going to be able to like resize that. Okay, so we're gonna be trying to fix that right now. That is fine. That Right, so maybe if I just remove the title, or remove actually the extra links, and remove the header, and just take that a little bit more top. But again, it's not the size that I want it to be. Okay, and actually if I go into wrapper, I want to change that to image. Let's add in this one, for example, the laptop one. Let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, so maybe I have the incorrect image selected. Yep, so we can just change this one, swap image, and it's telling you the ratio at 3:2. So yeah, as you can see, it adapted to that correctly. But the card itself, we still have that issue of we're not able to resize it. So why is it like this? I think it's because of the fixed layout over here. Right, so if I select the card, and there's like this auto layout. So if I do like, what's the width of this? This is like 390. So as you can see, this one just like resized because we changed the width. So 390, let's say we want this to be 350 or 320, maybe actually just 300, and let's just make this into 250, for example. Okay, but still we can make this into 270, for example. And yeah, I think this one looks good, but it's not supposed to look like that. Like 100%, we can change that. Again, like I said, you can do whatever modifications you would like for the page. Okay, so now it's centered. And now let's just copy everything over here. Copy. And let's just paste. So let's just copy and paste this over here again. And let's actually change this name to chop initial screen, for example, and chop scroll down, and we can just remove this carousel and just make a couple of cards, maybe just another card and a footer. So yeah, we have this basically the shop on the mobile devices. Can keep that over here. Let's actually make another one for the like the desktop on the tablet. Okay, so let me just close this one, and I'm just gonna go into home, not the file again, just the home one, and I'm just gonna go into iPad Air free mockups. So we're just gonna be resizing the text a little bit more and also just changing the layout of the like the tablet responsiveness and everything. And I'm gonna show you how you can do that as well. Right, so let me just put that to the side and go into iPad Air Mockups. Okay, so we're just gonna go into layers, and let's select, for example, the iPad Air horizontal one. So horizontal front green, copy. And yeah, bear in mind horizontal and like vertical are gonna be different. So let's just actually make that vertical one for now, like the one we used in the previous video. Right, so this is the one. I think it's vertical space gray. Yep. Let's just copy this one and go back to home. Yep. And let's just paste that over here. Again, just inside that iPad Air, I'm just gonna change that background. So yeah, that fill can just make it transparent. Okay. And I just want to change that image that is inside. So just go in the body and screen, I think, and screen background. Okay, so we can, yeah. So as you can see, it says screen and then replace over here. Okay, we can just, we just want it to be in white. Okay. And in terms of basically the other like things that we're gonna get, we can just get them from over here. So let's actually just do the carousel for now. So if I go over here and I just want to copy this carousel, let me just close these, go to a little bit to the top, and just paste those over here. Paste those, not paste to replace. So just paste. You can just Control V. So yeah. And basically we're just gonna resize that to the screen. We can make the height a little bit bigger than that, like this for example, and the nav bar on top. And let's just copy those cards over here. Make sure you selected the correct card. Then we're just gonna paste those over here. And let me just close these for now. Okay, right now we haven't actually added in the grid system. So let's actually check out if we can do that over here. So if we go into assets, let's go into columns, for example. Let's see if it's just gonna add anything to us over here. Again, as like a web developer, you should know this like regularly, but again, if you can do it already in like the columns in the Bootstrap system, then do it, because it's gonna make it so much easier for the web developer that's doing that for you, right? But I do not think that there is like an option to do columns inside that Bootstrap 5 design system library we want. All of these are just icons. So for now, just make sure just to like follow along with me. All right, so there's like something called a row. All right, so right now we have like spaces for 2 rows, as you could see over here. So we can just add in like another card over here. Okay. So we have 2 rows right now, and we have actually 3 columns. So as you can see, we have space for like 3 to 4 columns. It depends on the card sizing as well. Okay, so that does not look right. We can just make the cards a little bit bigger, to be honest. Okay, so over here, let's make these to 350. Let's make this to 300, for example. And this one to 300. Okay. So we can resize it, but we need to resize like the images and everything. So let's for now just keep it just the height a little bit longer. So 350. Yeah, that looks fine. All right, 350. And then I'm just duplicating what I'm doing basically. So right now, as you can see, we have 2 rows and 3 columns, right? And we're using like a grid system. You can use whatever system you would like, but this is like the easiest system for a grid layout. And again, you can define these in Bootstrap actually. I do remember in the library there's like in Tailwind, you can define like what the device you're on and what the styles that are should be applied. Okay, so on tablet that should be just like one page, right? That does not need to be like the 2 pages I did over here for mobile. And let me just put this over here. Okay, and let's just shop iPad Air 2022, and let's add in at the end medium devices, for example. Small devices, so mobiles, small devices. And we're just gonna add in the desktop as well, and I'm just gonna get that navigation bar. I'm just gonna get that from the home screen. Right, let me just Control Z out. Yep. Okay. I'm just gonna go into the project, and let me go into the home page itself. Right, so we just want those. I want the desktop basically, or the tablet menu. So I'm just gonna select that over here. And as you can see, a navbar default. So I'm just gonna copy this one. I'm gonna go to shop, and I'm just gonna paste that one over here. All right, let me just adapt it to over here. It's supposed to be the same size. Maybe it's a little bit bigger. I just need to resize it a little bit. And I can also do something, right? Either we can just like put that inside, which is the correct thing to do. And let's just add it after that iPad Air. Okay, where is it? Yep. And why have I did this? So I did this basically just so that the navbar itself can be like shown after the iPad itself, but that's not gonna be the correct layout structure. And also it's not gonna show us the navbar. So if I do that, I just wanted to show you that. Okay, you're probably thinking why I'm not doing that, right? So we can just add it like inside the body as well, inside the screen if you want to. But I'm not gonna do that, to be honest. I'm just gonna put that over here for now, and I'm just gonna add in just some border radius, basically just for the navbar to be a little bit more rounded. And let me just resize it exactly to the page. And yeah, okay, it looks good enough. But again, we can just resize the text a little bit. So I think the text on the bottom is fine, can be a little bit bigger. But the one in the middle is the one that needs a little bit, like text a little bit to be a little bit bigger. Alright, so let's continue actually. So just because the video is almost like at 1 hour right now, let's just finish the desktop. And that would be pretty much it. Alright, so let's just go into home, go to desktop mockup. Again, select which desktop mockup you would prefer. We're gonna do 3 pages of mockups, and then we're gonna be doing 3 prototypes. Alright, so what I would prefer is basically getting a prototype. Why? Because prototype is gonna show you basically how you can interact with your like the website. All right. However, mockups is something that you can present to people just like for a static image, but for prototype is something that you would send to uh, like your team you're working on, and like you're designing a page together, or you're basically just wanted to show somebody how the page is supposed to interact. Okay, so right now just check out the assets of the desktop mockup that's called presently, and I'm just gonna get that iMac. So as you can see, there are a couple of options that you can select from. Let me get the laptop this time. Right, I did not like the desktop one the last time. And let me just get that group outside, actually, the like outside this frame, because it's a frame on its own. Okay, but I don't want the group over here. Yep, I want that group. Yep. Control Z, and just scroll down a little bit horizontally, but we're gonna change the width and height. So 19 by 20 by 1080. All right. Again, you can resize it to whatever you would like. I'm just showing you a really like standard desktop format. All right. I'm just gonna go into this rectangle, and I'm gonna change that fill to white. And again, like basically the tablet and the desktop are gonna be the same, so we can just copy this, and this, and this, and just scroll in a little bit, and then go horizontally again, and just paste those over here, and we're just gonna resize those over here. Okay, maybe I didn't select them correctly, so we're gonna do that again. Alright, so this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Alright, copy. Like, I think the whole program lags when I press copy. That's the whole issue. I'm not really sure if it copied it correctly. So if it does not copy it correctly, I'm just gonna edit that, and yeah, so it did copy it correctly. Okay. We just want to zoom in over here a little bit and just resize it correctly. So we do not waste time. So yeah, as you can see right now, the layout is going great, but there is just something we need to actually like add these inside the group. So let's add it after the last rectangle or before the last rectangle. Okay. And yeah, pretty much that's it. We can just resize those cards a little bit over here, over here, over here. Again, you guys, this is not supposed to be a finished product. This is supposed to be something that you build on learn from in Figma, so you can create your own finished products. So for example, over here, the cards themselves need some adaptation, so you can do that on your own after actually watching this tutorial. Right, if you can go, like for example, go and select these cards, you can start changing the width, you can start changing the height, you can actually go into the card itself, the card header, the content, the wrapper, the image, like for example the image over here, and start basically changing the aspect ratio. Try different things so you can basically get that design that you want. Also, this is the size adjuster, so I think this is the one that's allowing us to um, like I think this is the one that's making the fixed layout. I'm not really sure, but again, this is supposed to be an example for you, not a finished product, but I am trying to make something that's more similar to a finished product as much as I can. Right, so we're just gonna select this group and let's actually put it over here. Yep, so these are basically just the shop page for the small and medium devices. So here's the laptop. So it looks pretty good on laptop or computer per se. On tablet and on mobile. Alright. So again, like I said, these are not supposed to be the final product you give somebody. Like if you're giving this to your like production manager, if you're giving this to someone at work, this looks like a good idea, but at the same time, this is not like a final prototype because they're not gonna know how to interact with it, and prototypes are supposed to be done differently for different devices. All right. So again, for the last page, we're just going to be doing the courses, which is pretty much similar to the shop page, so I don't really think that's necessary. But again, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. Comment, like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. This was Angry with you, and beautiful day to everyone. Bye, guys.